G'day, so story time. This is a static model of a Morris Oxford. This is the same engine that's in my late father's Morris Cowley car, 1927. So I'll put up a picture of me driving it only a few years ago. So I've had this engine for a while. As I said, it's only a static model, so I asked a guy in Vietnam, Mr. Mon, if he could perhaps make it live or make me one. So he made this engine. He made this engine for me. So, but at the time, when he made this engine and sent it to me, it looked very similar to this one. So these engines are fully handmade. They're like I was going to say a one-off, but they're a two-off, basically. They've got 16mm pistons. I'm not sure of the stroke, so I'm not sure of the cc capacity. So pretty well everything on these are handmade. So your spark plugs are all handmade. Your springs are handmade. Obviously your little screws are not handmade, but pretty well everything else. I guess your pipes and these rubber bands are not handmade, obviously. But pretty well everything else, your crankshaft, your camshaft, all your springs, valves, flywheel, spark plugs, radiator, is all handmade. Even the little CDI units underneath are handmade. Now I'll just flick them on. Don't know if you can hear that. Now I've just turned it off. So this little distributor type setup there's an earth just there, and so the way these little CDIs work is you've got an earth outer terminal and it'll send a spark to the spark plug. But what I don't like about these is they hold power. So I turned that off a little while ago now, but each one have still got a fair whack. And if you get bitten by that, you know about it. It kind of scares me a little bit. So I'll put this engine aside for a minute and I'll just talk about this engine. So this is the engine that was sent to me 3 or 4 years ago now. And it had the same, it looked identical to that other engine. So I changed it a little bit to I guess dress it up a little bit and make it look a little bit more to my liking. I like things symmetrical, so that's why I've got a tank and the radiator, everything's in line. So a couple of things that I did to it. So this engine was running very similar to that one when I first got it, so I'll start them both up in a minute. But this engine, I mean, it wouldn't run very well. It's running similar to that one now, how that one runs at the moment. So I did a couple of things. This is a true flat head. So you've got your intake going into the side of the block and the exhaust coming out the side. There's a bit of trickery going on to get your intake gases up over to the valves, which are all on this side. This is your valve adjustment in through here. So all your valves sit just in here. So, I mean, basically it goes inside the block, goes up into the head, and then travels through the head to these 2 ports, and then it travels through the head over here to another 2 ports. So a couple of things that I did to this engine to make it run a bit better is I got rid of the homemade carburetor and put a little carby from an aeroplane, or you know. What else? These little ports that ran through the head, they were, I think, about 3 mil. The biggest diameter was about 3 mil, so I drilled them out to a little bit bigger. I forget what they are now. I had the little CDI units that is on this engine that had the same on this, and I had one of them die, which I wasn't disappointed about because I'd copped a boot a few times and I thought I might end up bloody carking it if I kept getting bitten by it. So I changed to a CDI unit. It's got 4 batteries, CDI unit. Another thing while I'm under here, this little water tank. So the water capacity of this engine is not that great. I've got these little bottles here that I use for topping up. So this whole engine, radiator, and in the block wouldn't even take one of these, and this is about, I think, I'm not sure how big that is. Anyway, so I'll put the tank underneath. So now I've got heaps more capacity, and yeah, it can run a lot longer. A couple other things I did was I got rid of that stand round here that was sitting up here, and I built an arm similar to what would have been in the original. It's not quite right, but you know, you get the gist of it. Yeah, so that's it. I'll put that one aside. I'll start this one. So like I said, I don't know if I'm going to modify this one to look similar to this other one. I'm not sure if I will do that, but for the time being, this is it. This is how it came. This is how it was made. This engine is pretty well a fixed speed. It's very hard to adjust, whereas this other one, it does. I can rev this one up. This one, oh, you'll see in a minute anyway. I'll get it started. I'll fire it up. See what happens. One thing else I wanted to mention, which I forgot to mention, I did say to Mr. Munn when he made this one, I said I would like to be able to hand start it. So he sent me a progress video at one stage, and the engine was running well, anti-clockwise when you look at it from the front. And I said to him, I says, oh, the engine's running backwards. And you know, I explained to him, you know, when you crank an engine, you should be cranking it this way. So he said, yep, no worries, I'll fix it. So to fix it, he had to made a new water pump, because you know, now the water pump turns backwards or turns a different way, and he made a new camshaft. So then he presented me with this engine. This is all these years ago. But with the parts that he no longer used in the original engine, he's made a second engine using those parts. So this engine runs, I guess, opposite direction to this other engine. So he's used the original water pump that he's made and the original cam. So this engine, I'll start it again, runs like looking at the flywheel. I've got to turn it clockwise. Now this engine, I actually start from the front of the engine rather than the back, and it rotates in the opposite direction. Alright, thanks for watching. Let's find the, around here. Thanks for watching.